It is not. Twitch still has other streams going. I'm not sure if it's.
It's
No, I'm seeing myself online now. So
You're
maybe
back, you're back.
F5. Yeah.
So we're back.
We are
We're
back.
back.
Yes.
Yes, nice.
We can
Should
restart.
we start from the
now.
top again since we were one line?
When did we go?
Literally at the beginning.
It
Oh,
died right
God.
at the first line.
All right.
I'll start us in again.
One line in.
All right, here we go. Act 1, Scene 1, before Leonato's house. Enter Leonato, Hero, and Beatrice with a messenger.
I learn in this letter that Don Peter of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
But few of any sort, and none of name.
A victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Peter have bestowed much honour on a young Florentine called Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing, in the figure of a lamb, the feats of a lion. He hath indeed bettered expectation than you must expect of me to tell you how.
He has an uncle here in Messina who will be very much glad of it.
I have already delivered him letters, and there appears much joy in him, even so much that joy could not show itself modest enough without a badge of bitterness.
Did he break out into tears?
In great measure.
A kind overflow of kindness. There are no faces truer than those that are so washed. How much better it is to weep at joy than to joy at weeping.
I pray you, is Signor Montanto returned from the wars or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of any sort.
What is he that you ask for, niece?
My cousin means Signor Benedict of Padua.
Oh, he's returned, and as pleasant as ever he was.
He set up bills here in Messina and challenged Cupid at the flight, and my uncles, for reading the challenge, subscribed for Cupid and challenged him at the bird boat. I pray you, how many has he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many has he killed? For indeed I promise to eat all of his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much, but he'll be meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in these wars.
You had musty fiddle, and he hath hoped to eat it. He is a very valiant trencherman. He has an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier too, lady.
And a good soldier to a lady. But what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord, a man to a man, stuffed with all honourable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man. But for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal.
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There is a kind of merry war betwixt Signor Benedict and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off, and now is the whole man governed with 1. So that if he have wit enough to keep himself warm, let him bear for a difference between himself and his horse, for it is all the wealth that he has left to be known a reasonable creature. Who is his companion now? He has every month a new sworn brother.
Is it possible?
Very possible. He wears his face, but as the fashion of his hat, it ever changes with the next block.
I see, lady. The gentleman is not in your book.
No, and he wore, I will burn my study. But I pray you, who is his companion? Is there no young squirrel now that will make a voyage with him to the devil?
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh, Lord! He will hang upon him like a disease. He is sooner caught than the pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. God help the noble Claudio. If he have caught the Benedict, it will cost him £1,000 ere he be cured.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
He will never run mad, niece.
Nope, not till a hot January.
Don Pedro is approached.
Enter Don Pedro, Don John, Claudio, Benedict, and Balthazar.
Signor Leonato, you are come to meet your trouble. The fashion of the world is to avoid cost and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace, for trouble being gone, comfort should remain. But when you depart from me, sorrow abides and happiness takes his leave.
Embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter.
Her mother hath many times told me so.
Were you in doubt, sir, that you asked her?
Signor Benedict, no, for then you were a child.
We may guess by this what you are, being a man. Truly the lady fathers herself. Be happy, lady, for you were like an honorable father.
If Signor Leonardo be her father, she would have his head on her shoulder for all Messina, as like him as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
What? My dear Lady Disdain! Are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die while she has such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Then is courtesy a turncoat. But it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you accept it. And I would I could find it in my heart that I had not a heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness to women. They would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God and my cold blood I am of your humor for that. I had rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
God keep your ladyship still in that mind. So some gentleman or other shall scape a predestined scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse, and 'twere such a face as yours were.
Well, you are a rare parrot, teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so good a continuer. But keep your way. In God's name I've done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
That is the sum of all, Leonardo. Signor Claudio and Signor Benedict, my dear friend Leonardo, have invited you all. I tell him we shall stay here at the least a month, and he heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer. I dare swear he is no hypocrite, but prays from his heart.
If you swear, my lord, you shall not be forsworn. Let me bid you welcome, my lord. Being reconciled to the prince your brother, I owe you all duty.
Thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Please let your grace lead on.
And Leonardo, we will go together.
All exit except Benedict and Claudio.
Benedict, didst thou note the daughter, Signor Leonardo?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me as an honest man should do for my simple true judgment, or would you have me speak about after my custom as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee speak in sober judgment.
Why, i'faith, methinks she's too low for a high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation I can afford her, that were she other than she is, she were unhandsome. And being no other but as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkst I am in sport. I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yeah, and a case to put it into. But speak you this with a sad brow, or do you play the flaunting jack and tell us Cupid is a good hair finder, and Vulcan a rare carpenter? Come, in what key shall a man take you to go in the song?
In mine eyes she is the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
I can see without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There's her cousin, and she will not possessed with a fury exceed her as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary if Hera would be my wife.
It's come to this. In faith, has not the world one man, but he will wear his cap with suspicion? Shall I never see a bachelor of threescore again? Go, i' faith, and thou wilt need thrust thy neck into a yoke, wear the print of it, and sigh away Sundays. Look, Don Pedro is returned to seek you.
Don Pedro re-enters.
Secret hath held you here that you follow not to Leonardo's.
I would your grace would constrain me to tell.
Charge thee on by alliance.
You hear, Count Claudio? I can be as secret as a dumb man, I would have you think so, but on my allegiance. Mark you this, on my allegiance. He's in love. With who? Now that's your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonardo's short daughter.
If this were so, so it were uttered.
Like the old tale, my lord. 'Tis is not so, nor 'twas not so, but indeed, God forbid it should be so.
If my passion change not shortly, God forbid it should be otherwise.
Ma'am, if you love her, or the lady is very well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord?
On my troth, I speak my thought.
And in faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by my true faith and trust, my lord, I spoke mine.
That I love her, I feel.
She is worthy, I know.
That I neither feel how she should be loved, nor know how she should be worthy, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
And never could maintain his part in the force of his will.
That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she brought me up, I likewise give her the most humble thanks. But that I will have a retreat, wind it in my forehead, and hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me. Because I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any. I will do myself the right to trust none. And the fine is, for which I may go the finer, I will live a bachelor.
I shall see thee, ere I die, look pale with love.
With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, not with love. Prove that ever I lose more blood with love than I will again with drinking. Pink out mine eyes with Ballymaker's pen, and hang me at the door to a brothel house for the sign of blind Cupid.
If ever thou dost fall from this faith, thou wilt prove a notable argument.
If I do, hang me in a bottle like a cat and shoot at me. And he that hits him, let him be clapped on the shoulder and called Adam.
Well, as time shall try, in time the savage bull doth bear the oak.
The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedict bear it, pluck off the bull's horns and set them in my forehead, and let be vilely painted, and in such great letters as they write, here is a good horse for hire, let them signify under my sign, here you see Benedict, the married man.
If this should ever happen, thou wouldst be horn mad.
Hey, if Cupid have not spent all his quiver in Venice, thou wilt quake for this shortly.
I look for an earthquake too, then.
Oh, you temporize with the hours. In the meantime, good Signor Benedict, repair to Leonato's, commend me to him, and tell me I will not fail him at supper, for indeed he hath made great preparation.
I have almost matter enough in me for such an embassage, and so I commit you.
To the tuition of God, from my house, if I had it.
6th of July, your loving friend Benedict.
Nay, mock not, mock not. The body of your discourse is sometime guarded with fragments, and the guards are but slightly based on neither. Based on neither. And you old flout you flout old ends any further, examine your conscience. And so I leave you.
Benedict exits.
My liege, your highness now may do me good.
Love is thine to teach it but how, and thou shalt see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee good.
Hath Leonardo any son, my lord?
Child but hero, she's his only heir. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
Oh, my lord, when you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye that liked but had a rougher task in hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned, and that war forts have left their places vacant. In their rooms come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young hero is, saying, I liked her ere I went to wars.
I will be like a lover presently, and tire the hero with a book of words. If thou dost love fair hero, cherish it, and I will break with her and with her father, and thou shalt have her. Was it not to this end that thou beganest to twist such fine a story?
How sweetly you do minister to love, that no loves grief by his complexion, but lest my liking might too sudden seem, I would have salved it with a longer treatise.
I need the bridge much broader than the flood. The fairest grant is the necessity. Look, what will serve as fit? 'Tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with the remedy. Reveling tonight, and I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair hero that I am Claudio. And in her bosom I will unclasp my heart, and take her hearing prisoner with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then after to her father will I break, and the conclusion is she shall be thine. In practice let us put it presently.
They all exit. Scene 2, a room in Leonato's house. Enter Leonato and Antonio meeting.
How now, brother? Where is my cousin, your son? Hath he provided this music?
He is very busy about it. But brother, I can tell you strange news that you yet dreamt.
Are they good?
If, as the event stamps them, but they have good cover. They show well outward. The prince and Count Claudio walking in a thick pleached alley in mine orchard, were thus much overheard by a man of mine. The prince discovered to Claudio that he loved my niece, your daughter, and meant to acknowledge it this night in a dance. And if he found her accordant, he meant to take the present time by the top and instantly break with you of it.
Have the fellow any wit that told you this?
A good sharp fellow. I will send for him and question him yourself.
No, we will hold it as a dream till it appear itself, but I will acquaint my daughter with all, that she may be the better prepared for an answer, if peradventure this be true. Go you, and tell her of it.
Enter attendants.
Cousins, you know what you have to do. Oh, I cry you mercy, friend, go you with me, and I will use your skill. Good cousin, have a care this busy time.
They all exit. Scene 3, the same, Leonato's house. Enter Don John and Conrad.
What a good year, my lord. Why are you thus out of...
There's no measure in the occasion that breeds, therefore the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
When I have heard it, what blessing brings it?
If not a present remedy, at least patient sufferance.
I wonder that thou, being as thou sayest thou art, born under Saturn, goest about to apply a moral medicine to a mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, and smile at no man's jests, eat when I have stomach, and wait for no man's leisure. Sleep when I am drowsy, and tend on no man's business. Laugh when I am merry, and claw no man in his humor.
Yea, but you must not make the full show of this. May do without controlment. You have of late stood out against him. He hath taken you newly into his grace, where it is impossible you should take true root but by the fair weather that you make yourself. It is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace, and it better befits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage to rob love from any. In this, though I cannot be said to be a flattering, honest man, it must not be denied, but I am a plain-dealing villain, a muzzle and enfranchised with a clog. Therefore I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me.
Can you make...
I make all use of it, for I use it only.
Enter Horatio.
Comes here. What news, Horatio?
I came yonder from a great supper. The prince your brother is royally entertained by Leonato, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Does it serve for any model to build mischief on? What is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquietness?
Marry, it is your brother's right hand.
Ooh, the most exquisite, Claudio?
Even he.
Proper squire. And who? Which way looks he?
Marry on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonato.
Very forward march, chick. How came you to this?
Being entertained for a perfumer as I was smoking a musty room, comes me the prince and Claudio, hand in hand in sad conference. I whipped me behind the arras, and there heard it agreed upon that the prince should woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
Come, let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I can cross him any way, I bless myself every way. You are both sure and will assist me?
To the death, my lord.
Let us to the great supper. Their cheer is the greater that I am subdued. Would the cook were on my mind. Shall we go to prove what's done?
We'll wait upon your lordship.
They all exit. Act 2, Scene 1. A hall in Leonato's house. Enter Leonato, Antonio, Hero, Beatrice, and others.
Was not Count John here at supper?
I saw him not.
How tartly that gentleman looks. I never can see him, but I am heartburn an hour after.
He is of a very melancholy disposition.
He were an excellent man that were made just in the midway between him and Benedict. The one is too like an image and says nothing, and the other too like my lady's eldest son, ever more tattling.
Then half Signor Benedict's tongue in Count John's mouth, and half Count John's melancholy in Signor Benedict's face.
With a good leg and a good foot, uncle, and money enough in his purse, such a man would win any woman in the world, if he could get her goodwill.
By my troth, niece, thou wilt never get thee a husband if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
I'faith, she's too cursed.
Too cursed is more than cursed. I shall lessen God's sending that way. For it is said, God sends a cursed cow short horns, but to a cow too cursed, he sends none.
So, by being too cursed, God will send you no horns.
Just, if he send me no husband. For the which blessing I am at him upon my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I had rather lie in the woolen.
He may light on a husband that have no beard.
What should I do with him? Dress in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman? He that has a beard is more than a youth, and he that has no beard is less than a man, and he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I am not for him. Therefore I will even take 6 pence in earnest of the bare word, and lead his apes into hell.
Well, then, go you into hell?
No, but to the gate. And there will the devil meet me like an old cuckold with horns on his head, and say, "Get you to heaven, Beatrice, get you to heaven. Here's no place for your maids." So deliver I up my apes, and away to St. Peter for the heavens. He shows me where the bachelors sit, and there live we as merry as the day is long.
Well, niece, I trust you will be rolled by your father.
Yes, faith, it is my cousin's duty to make curtsy and say, "Father, as it please you." But yet, for all that, cousin, let him be a handsome fellow, or else make another curtsy and say, "Father, as it please me."
Well, niece, I hope to see you one day fitted with a husband.
Not till God make men of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered with a piece of valiant dust? To make an account for life to a clod of wayward marrow? No, uncle, I'll none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly, I hold it a sin to matching my kindred.
Daughter, remember what I told you. If the prince do solicit you and that kind, you know your answer.
The fault will be in the music, cousin, if you be not wooed in good time. If the prince is too important, tell him there's measuring everything, and so dance out the answer. For hear me, hero, wooing, wedding, and repenting is as a Scotch jig, a measure, and a sync pace. The first suit is hot and hasty like a Scotch jig, and full as fantastical. The wedding, mannerly modest as a measure, full of state and ancientry. And then comes the repentance, and with his bad legs, falls into sync pace faster and faster till he sink into his grave.
Cousin, you apprehend passing shrewdly.
I have a good eye, uncle. I can see a church by daylight.
The revelers are entering. Brother, make good room.
They all put on their masks. Enter Don Pedro, Claudio, Benedict, Balthazar, Don John, Horatio, Margaret, Ursula, and all the lads and lasses masked.
Lady, will you walk about with your friend?
So you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing. I'm yours for the walk, and especially when I walk away.
With me in your company?
I may say so when I please.
And when please you to say so?
When I like your favor, for God defend the lute should be like the case.
My visor is Philemon's Ruth, within the house is Jove.
Why then, your visor should be fetched.
Lo, if you speak love.
Drawing her aside.
Well, I would you did like me.
So would. Not I, for your sake, for I have many ill qualities.
Which is one?
I say my prayers aloud.
I love you the better. The hearers may cry, Amen.
God match me with a good dancer.
Amen.
And God keep him out of my sight when the dance is done. Answer, clerk.
No more words. The clerk is answered.
I know you well enough. You are Signor Antonio.
At the word, I am not.
I know you by the waggling of your head.
To tell you true, I counterfeit him.
You could never do him so ill well unless you were the very man. Here's his dry hand up and down. You are he. You are he.
At the word, I am not.
Come, come, do you think I do not know you by your excellent wit? Can virtue hide itself? Go to, mum, you are he. Graces will appear, and there's an end.
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
Nor will you not tell me who you are?
Not now.
That I was disdainful, and that I had my good wit out of the 100 merry tales. Well, this was Signor Benedict that said so.
What's he?
I am sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
Did he never make you laugh?
I pray, what is he?
Why, he is the prince's jester. A very dull fool. Only his gift is in devising impossible slanders. None but libertines delight in him, and the commendation is not in his wit, but in his villainy. For he both pleases men and angers them, and then they laugh at him and beat him. I am sure he is in the fleet. I would he had boarded me.
When I know the gentleman, I'll tell him what you say.
Do. He'll better break a comparison or two on me, which, peradventure, not marked or not laughed at, strikes him into a melancholy. And then there's a partridge wing saved, for the fool won't eat no supper that night. We must follow the leaders.
Music plays.
In every good thing.
Nay, if they lead to any ill, I will leave them at the next turning.
They dance. All exit except Don John, Horatio, and Claudio.
Sir, my brother is amorous on Hero, and hath withdrawn her father to break with him about it. The ladies follow her, and but one visor remains.
And that is Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
You not Signor Benedict?
You know me well, I am he.
You are very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you dissuade him from her. She is no equal for his birth. You may do the part of an honest man in it.
How know you he loves her?
I heard him swear his affection.
So did I too. And he swore he would marry her tonight.
Come, let us to the banquet.
Don John and Horatio exit.
Thus answer I in the name of Benedict, but hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so, the prince woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things, save in the office and affairs of love. Therefore, all hearts in love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself, and trust no agent. For beauty is a witch, against whose charms faith melteth into blood. This is an accident of hourly proof, which I mistrusted not. Farewell, therefore, hero.
Benedict re-enters.
Count Claudio?
Yeah, the same.
Come, will you go with me?
Whither?
Even to the next willow, about your own business county. What fashion will you wear the garland of? About your neck, like an usurer's chain? Or under your arm, like a lieutenant's scarf? You must wear it one way, for the prince hath got your hero.
I wished him joy of her.
Why, that's spoken like an honest drovier. So they sell bullocks, but did you think the prince would have served you thus?
I pray you, leave me.
Oh, now you strike like the blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you'll beat the post.
If it will not be, I will leave you.
Claudio exits.
Alas, poor herd fowl. Now will he creep into sedges. But that my Lady Beatrice should know me and not know me. The prince's fool? Huh. It may be that I go under that title because I am merry. Yeah, But so I am apt to do myself wrong. I am not so reputed. But it is the base thought, bitter disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into a person, and so gives me out. Well, I'll be revenged as I may.
Don Pedro re-enters.
Signor, where's the Count? Did you see him?
Troth, my lord, I have played the part of Lady Fame. I found him here as melancholy as a lodged in a warren. I told him, and I think I told him true, that your grace have got the goodwill of his young lady. And I offered him my company to a willow tree, either to make him a garland as being forsaken, or to bind him up a rod as being worthy to be whipped.
Be whipped? What's his fault?
The flat transgression of a schoolboy, who, being overjoyed with finding a bird's nest, shows it his companion and he steals it.
Thou make a trust a transgression? The transgression is in the stealer.
Yet it had not been amiss the rod had been made, and the garland too. For the garland he might have worn himself, and the rod he might have bestowed on you, who, as I take it, have stolen his bird's nest.
Will but teach them to sing and restore them to the owner.
If their singing answer your saying, by my faith, you say honestly.
Lady Beatrice hath a quarrel to you. The gentleman that danced with her told her as much. Told her she is much wronged by you.
Oh, she misused me past the endurance of a block. And oh, but with one green leaf on it would have answered her. My very visor began to assume life and scold with her. She told me, not thinking I'd been myself, that I was the princess jester, and that I was duller than a great Thor. Huddling jest upon jest with such impossible conveyance upon me that I stood like a man at a mark with a whole army shooting at me. She speaks poignards, and every word stabs. If her breath were as terrible as her terminations, there would be no living near her. She would infect to the North Star. I would not marry her, though she were endowed with all that Adam had left him before he transgressed. She would have made Hercules have turned spit, and have craft his club to make the fire too. Come, talk not of her. You shall find her the infernal aid in good and peril. I would to God some scholar would conjure her, for certainly, while she is here, a man may live as quiet in hell as in a sanctuary. And people sin upon purpose because they would go thither. So indeed, all disquiet, horror, and perputation follow her.
Here she comes.
Enter Claudio, Beatrice, Hero, and Leonardo.
Will your grace command me any service to the world's end? I will go on the slightest errand now to the Antipodes that you can advise to send me on. I will fetch you a toothpick now from the furthest end of Asia, bring you the length of Prester John's foot, fetch you a hair of the great Sham's beard, do you any embassage to the pygmies, rather than hold 3 words conference with this harpy. You have no employment for me?
But to desire your good company.
Oh, God. Sir, here is a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
Benedict exits.
Come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Signor Benedict.
Indeed, my lord. He lent me a while, and I gave him use for it, a double heart for his single one. Marry, once before he won it off me with false dice. Therefore your grace may well say I have lost it.
You have put him down, lady. You have put him down.
So I would not he should do me, my lord, lest I should prove the mother of fools. I have brought Count Claudio, whom you sent me to seek.
Aye, how now, Count? Wherefore art you sad?
Not sad, my lord.
Then, sick?
Neither, my lord.
The Count is neither sad, nor sick, nor merry, nor well, but civil, Count, civil as an orange, and something of that jealous complexion.
Faith, lady, I think your blazon to be true, though I'll be sworn if he be so, his conceit is false. Here, Claudio, I have wooed in thy name, and fair Hero is won. I have broke with her father, and his goodwill obtained, named a day of marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count, take of me my daughter, and with her my fortunes. His grace hath made the match, and a grace say amen to it.
Speak, Count, 'tis your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you, and dote upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin, or if you cannot, stop his mouth with a kiss and let him not speak neither.
Faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Yea, my lord, I thank ye, the poor fool. It keeps on the windy side of care. My cousin tells him in his ear that he is in her heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Good lord for alliance. Thus goes everyone to the world but I, and I am sunburnt. I may sit in a corner and cry, hey ho, for a husband.
Hey, Beatrice, I will get you one.
I would rather have one of your father's getting. Hath your grace never a brother like you? Your father got excellent husbands if a maid could come by them.
You have me, lady?
No, my lord. Unless I might have another for working days. Your grace is too costly to wear every day. But I beseech your grace, pardon me. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Silence most offends me, and to be merry best becomes you, for out of question you were born in a merry hour.
No, sure, my lord. My mother cried. But then there was a star danced, and under that was I born. Cousins, God give you joy.
Niece, will you look to those things I told you of?
I cry you mercy, uncle. By your grace's pardon.
She exits.
My troth, a pleasant-spirited lady.
There's little of the melancholy element in her, my lord. She is never sad but when she sleeps, and not ever sad then. For I have heard my daughter say she hath often dreamed of unhappiness, and waked herself with laughing.
She cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
Oh, by no means. She mocks all her wooers out of suit.
You were an excellent wife for Benedict.
Oh Lord, my lord, if they were but a week married, they would talk themselves mad.
Claudio, when mean you to go to church?
Tomorrow, my lord. Time goes on crutches till love have all his rights.
Not till Monday, my dear son, which is hence a just 7 night and a time too brief, to have all things answer my mind.
You shake the head at so long a breathing, but I warrant thee, Claudio, the time shall not go dully by us. I will in the interim undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedict and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, the one with the other. I would fain have it a match, and I would doubt not to fashion it, but minister such assistance as I shall give you direction.
My lord, I am for you, though it cost me 10 nights' watchings.
And I, my lord.
You too, gentle hero?
I will do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin to a good husband.
Benedict is not the unhopefullest husband that I know. Thus far can I praise him. He is of a noble strain, of approved valor and confirmed honesty. I will teach you how to humor your cousin, that she shall fall in love with Benedict, and I, with your two helps, will so practice on Benedict that, in despite of his quick wit and his queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are the only love gods. Go in with me, and I will tell you my drift.
They all exit. Scene 2, the same, a hall in Leonato's house. Enter Don John and Horatio.
Don John and
It is
Horatio.
so. Muted. It is so. The Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonato.
Yea, my lord, but I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinable to me. I'm sick in displeasure to him, and whatsoever comes athwart his affection ranges evenly with mine. How canst thou cross this marriage?
Not honestly, my lord, but so covertly that no dishonesty shall appear in me.
Tell me briefly how.
I think I told your lordship a year since how much I am in favour of Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman to hero.
I remember.
I can, at any unseasonable instant of the night, appoint her to look out at her lady's chamber window.
Life is in that to be the death of this marriage.
A poison of that lies in you to temper. Go you to the prince your brother. Spare not to tell him that he hath wronged his honour in marrying the renowned Claudio, whose estimation do you mightily hold up, to it contaminate his stale, such as one as hero.
What proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse a prince. to vex Claudio, to undo Hero and kill Leonardo. Look you for any other issue?
Only to despite them, I will endeavor anything.
Go then. Find me a meet hour to draw Don Pedro and the Count Claudio alone. Tell him that you know that Hero loves me. Intend a kind of zeal both to the Prince and Claudio, as, in love of your brother's honour, who hath made this match, and his friend's reputation, who is thus like to be cozened with the semblance of a maid, that you have discovered thus. I will scarcely believe this without trial. Offer them instances which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at a chamber window. Hear me call Margaret Hero, hear Margaret term me Claudio, and bring them to see this the very night before the intended wedding. For in the meantime, I will so fashion the matter that Hero shall be absent, and there shall appear such seeming truth of Hero's disloyalty, and that jealousy shall be called assurance, and all the preparation overthrown.
Show this to what adverse issue it can, I will put it into practice. Be cunning in the working this, and thy fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be you constant in the accusation, and my cunning shall not shame me.
We'll presently go learn their day of marriage.
They all exit. Scene 3, Leonato's orchard. Enter Benedict.
Boy.
Enter boy.
Signor?
In my chamber window lies a book. Bring it hither to me in the orchard.
I'm here already, sir.
I know that, but I would have thee hence and here again.
The boy exits.
I do much wonder than one man, seeing how much another man is a fool when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, after he hath lauded such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love. And such a man is Claudio. I have known when there was no music with him but the drum and the fife, and now had he rather hear the taper and the pipe. I have known when he would have walked 10 mile afoot to see a good armour, and now will he lie 10 nights awake carving the fashion of a new doublet. He was wont to speak plain and to the purpose, like an honest man and a soldier, but now is he turned orthography. His words are a very fantastical banquet, just so many strange dishes. May I be so converted, and see with these eyes? I cannot tell. I think not. I will not be sworn, but love may transform me to an oyster. But I'll take my oath on it, till he have made an oyster of me, he shall never make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another is wise, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace. Rich she shall be, that's certain. Wise, oh, I'll none. Virtuous, I'll never cheapen her. Fair, I'll never look on her. Mild, come not near me. Noble, not I for an angel. Of good discourse, an excellent musician, and her hair shall be of what colour it please God. Ah, the prince and Monsieur Love. I will hide me in the arbour.
Benedict withdraws. Enter Don Pedro, Claudio, and Leonardo.
Shall we hear this music?
Yeah, my good lord. How still the evening is hushed on purpose to grace harmony.
Do you or Benedict have hit himself?
Oh, very well, my lord. The music ended. We'll fit the kid fox with a pennyworth.
Enter Balthazar with music.
Balthazar, we'll hear that song again.
Oh, good my lord, tax not so bad a voice to slander music any more than once.
Is in the witness still of excellency to put a strange face on his own perfection. I pray thee, sing, and let me woo no more.
Because you talk of wooing, I will sing. Since many a wooer doth commence his suits to her, he thinks not worthy, yet he woos, yet will he swear he loves.
I pray thee, come, or if thou wilt no longer hold longer argument, do it in notes.
Note this before my notes. There's not a note of mine that's worth the noting.
Aye, these are very crotches that he speaks. Notes, notes, forsooth, and nothing.
And air
Now.
music.
Now, divine air, now is his soul ravished. Is it not strange that sheepscot should hail souls out of men's bodies? Well, a horn for my money when all's done.
The song begins.
Sigh no more, ladies, sigh no more. Men were deceivers ever. One foot in sea and one on shore. To one thing constant never. Then sigh not so, but let them go. And be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey nonny nonny. Sing no more ditties, sing no more of dumps so dull and heavy. The fraud of men was ever so, since summer first was leafy. And sigh not so, but let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey nonny nonny.
My troth, a good song.
And nil singer, my lord.
No, Faith, thou singest well enough for a shift.
And had he been a dog that should have howled thus, they would have hanged him. I pray God his bad voice both no mischief. I had as life had heard the night raven, come what plague could have come after it.
Ah, Mary, dost thou hear, Balthazar? I pray thee, get us some excellent music, for tomorrow night we would have it at the Lady Hero's chamber window.
The best I can, my lord.
So, farewell.
Balthazar exits.
Hither, Leonardo. What was it you told me of today, that your niece Beatrice was in love with Signor Benedict?
Oh, aye, stalk on, the foul sits. I never think that lady would have loved any man.
No, nor I neither, but most wonderful that she should so dote on Signor Benedict, whom she have in all outward behaviours seemed ever to abhor.
Is this possible? Since the wind that corner?
By my troth, my lord, I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection. It is past the infinite of thought.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit.
Faith, like enough.
Oh God, counterfeit! There was never counterfeit of passion came so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
Aye, what effects of passion shows she?
Bait the hook well. This fish will bite.
What effects, my lord? She will sit you. You heard my daughter tell you how.
She did indeed.
How, pray you? You amaze me. I would have, I thought her spirit had been invincible against all assaults of affection.
I would have sworn it had, my lord, especially against Benedict.
I should think this a gull, but that the white-bearded fellow speaks it. Knavery cannot, sure, hide himself in such reverence.
He have taken the affection. Hold it up.
She made her affection known to Benedict?
No, and swears she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true indeed, so your daughter says. Says I, says she, that have so often counted him with scorn, write to him that I love him.
This says she now when she is beginning to write to him, for she'll be up 20 times a night, and there she will sit in her smock, till she have writ a sheet of paper, my daughter tells us all.
Now you talk of a sheet of paper. I remember a pretty jest that your daughter told us of.
Oh, when she had writ it and was reading it over, she found Benedict and Beatrice between the sheet?
That.
Oh, she tore the letter into 1,000 halfpence, railed at herself that she should be so immodest to write to one that she knew would flout her. I measure him, says she, by my own spirit, for I should flout him if he writ to me, yea, though I love him, I should.
Then down upon her knees she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses. Oh, sweet Benedict, God give me patience.
She doth indeed, my daughter says so, and the ecstasy has so much overborne her that my daughter is sometime afeard she will do a desperate outrage to herself. It is very true.
For good that Benedict knew of it by some other, if she will not discover it.
To what end? He would make but a sport of it and torment the poor lady worse.
He should. It were an alms to hang him. She's an excellent sweet lady, and out of all suspicion, she is virtuous.
And she is exceedingly wise.
But in loving Benedict.
Oh, my lord, wisdom and blood combating in so tender a body, we have 10 proofs to 1 that blood hath the victory. I am sorry for her, as I have just cause, being her uncle and her guardian.
Would she had bestowed this dotage on me, I would have daffed all other respects and made her half myself. I pray you, tell Benedict of it, and hear what it will say.
Were it good, think you?
Hera thinks surely she will die, for she says she will die. If ye love her not, and she will die, ere she make her love known, and she will die, if ye woo her, rather than she will bate one breath of her accustomed crossness.
Well, if she should make tender of her love, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it, for the man, as you know all, have a contemptible spirit.
He's a very proper man.
Hath indeed a good outward happiness.
Before God, and in my mind, very wise.
Doth indeed show some sparks that are like wit.
And I take him to be valiant.
Hector, I assure you, and in the managing of quarrels you may say he is wise, for either he avoids them with great discretion, or undertakes them with the most Christian-like fear.
If he do fear God, I must necessarily keep peace. If he break the peace, he ought to enter into a quarrel with fear and trembling.
And so will he do, for the man doth fear God, howsoever it seems not on him by some large jest he will make. Niece, shall we go seek Benedict and tell him of her love?
Never tell her, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, that's impossible. She may wear her heart out first.
Well, we will hear further of it by your daughter. Let it cool a while. I love Benedict well, and I could wish he would modestly examine himself to see how much he is unworthy so good a lady.
My lord, will you walk? Dinner is ready.
If you do not dote upon her this, I will never trust my expectation.
Let there be the same net spread for her, and that must your daughter and her gentlewomen carry. The sport will be, when they hold one an opinion of another's dotage, and no such matter. That's the scene I would see, which will be merely a dumb show. Them into dinner.
Don Pedro, Claudio, and Leonardo exit. Benedict comes forward.
This can be no trick. The conference was sadly born. They have the truth of this from Hero. They seem to pity the lady. It seems her affection have their full bent. Love me? Why? It must be requited? I hear how I am censored. They say I will bear myself proudly if perceived the love come from her. They say too that she will rather die than give any sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that hear their detractions and can put them to mending. They say the lady is fair. 'Tis a truth, I can bear them witness, and virtuous. It is so, I cannot reprove it. And wise, but for loving me. By my troth, it is no addition to her wit, nor no great folly, argument of a folly, for I will be horribly in love with her. I may chance have some odd quirks and remnants of wit broken on me, because I have railed so long against marriage. But doth not the appetite alter? A man loves the meat in his youth that he cannot endure in his age. Shall quips and sentences and these paper bullets of the brain awe a man from the career of his humor? No, the world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I should live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice. By this day, she is a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love in her.
Beatrice enters.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
I took no more pains for those things than you take pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
You take pleasure, then, in the message?
Yay! Just so much as you may take upon a knife's point and choke a doll withal. You have no stomach, senor. Very well.
Beatrice exits.
Ha! Against my will, I am sent to come bid you to dinner. There's a double meaning in that. I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. That's as much as to say, any pains that I take for you is as easy as thanks. If I do not pity her, I am a villain. If I do not love her, I am a fool. I will go get her picture.
Benedict exits. Act 3, Scene 1, Leonardo's Garden. Enter Hero, Margaret, and Ursula.
Good Margaret, run thee to the parlour. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice proposing with the Prince and Claudio. Whisper in her ear and tell her I and Ursula walk in the orchard, and our whole discourse is all of her. Say that thou overhearest us, and bid her steal into the pleasant bower, where honeysuckles ripened by the sun. Forbid the sun to enter like favorites. Made proud by princes that advance their pride, against that power that bred it, there will she hide her, to listen to our purpose. This is thy offer. Fare thee well in it, and leave us alone.
I'll make her come, I warrant you, presently.
Margaret exits.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace the Sally up and down, our talk must only be of Benedict. When I do name it, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever did man merit. My talk to thee must be of how Benedict is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made, that only wounds by hearsay.
Beatrice enters from behind.
Now, begin. For look where Beatrice, like a lapwing, runs close to the ground to hear her own comfort.
The pleasantest angling is to see the fish cut with their golden oars the silver stream and greedily devour the treacherous bait. So angle we for Beatrice, who even now is couched in the woodbine coverture. Fear you not my part of the dialogue.
And go we near her, that her ear lose nothing of the false bait that we lay for it. No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedict loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my new troth lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedict, to wish him wrestle with affection, and never let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
Oh, God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on, and her wit values itself so highly that all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape, project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so. And therefore certainly it were not good she knew his love, lest she make sport at it.
Why you speak truth. I never yet saw a man how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured. But she would spell him backwards if fair-faced. She would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If black, why nature drawing of an antique made a foul blot. If tall, a lance ill-headed. If low, an agate very vilely cut. If speaking, why a vein blown with all the wind. If silent, why a block moves none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to truth and virtue that with simpleness merit pursue it.
Sure, such coughing is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions as Beatrice is, cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, why, she would mock me into the air. Oh, she would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore, let Benedict, like covered fire, consume way in size, waste inwardly, if were better death than die with mock, which is as bad as die with flame.
Yet tell her of it. Hear what she will say.
No, rather I will go to Benedict and counsel him to fight against his passions, and truly I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedict.
He is the only man of Italy. Always accepted my dear Claudio.
I pray you, be not angry with me, madam, speaking my fancy. Signor Benedict, for shape, for bearing, argument, and valour, goes foremost in report through Italy.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it, ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day! Tomorrow! Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires and have thy counsel which best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's limed, I warrant you. We have caught her, madam.
If it proves so, then by loving goes by half. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
Hero and Ursula exit. Beatrice comes forward.
What fire is in my ears? Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt, farewell, and maiden pride adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such. And Benedict, love on, I will requite thee. Take me my wild heart to thy loving hand. If thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind our loves up in a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it better than reportingly.
Beatrice exits. Scene 2, a room in Leonato's house. Enter Don Pedro, Claudio, Benedict, and Leonato.
I do but stay till your marriage be consummate, and then I go to Aragon.
I'll bring you thither, my lord, if you'll vouchsafe me.
Hey, that would be as great a soil and new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him to wear it. Benedict for his company, for, from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot, he is all mirth. He have twice or thrice cut Cupid's bowstring, and the little hangman dare not shoot at him. Well, and his tongue is the clapper, for what his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
Gallants, I am not as I have been.
So say I, methinks you are sadder.
I hope he be in love.
Him truant. There's no true drop of blood in him to be truly touched with love. If he be sad, he wants money.
I have the toothache.
I
Hang it.
You must hang it first and draw it afterwards.
What? Sigh for the toothache?
Where is but a humour or a worm?
Well, everyone can master a grief, but he that has it.
Yet say I, he is in love.
There is no appearance of fancy in him, unless it be a fancy he hath to strange disguises, as to be a Dutchman today, a Frenchman tomorrow, or in the shape of two countries at once. From the waist downward, all slops, and a Spaniard from the hip upward, no doublet. Unless he have a fancy to his foolery, he, as it appears he hath, as you would it have it appear he is.
If he be not in love with some woman, there is no believing old signs. Brushes his hat o' mornings, what should that bode?
Barbers?
No, but the barber's man hath been seen with him, and the old ornaments of his cheek have already stuffed tennis balls.
Indeed, he looks younger than he did, by the loss of a beard.
Hey, it rubs himself with civet. Can you smell him out by that?
That's as much as to say the sweet youth's in love.
Please note if it is his melancholy.
And when was he wont to wash his face?
Or to paint himself, for the which I hear what they say of him.
Nay, but his jesting spirit, which is now crept into a loose spring, and now governed by stops.
Indeed, that tells a heavy tale for him. Conclude that he is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
That I would know too. I warrant one that knows him not.
Yes, and his ill conditions, and in spite of all, dies for him.
He shall be buried with her face upwards.
Yet is this no charm for the toothache. Old Signor, walk aside with me. I have studied 8 or 9 wise words to speak to you, which these hobby horses must not hear.
Benedict and Leonato exit.
My life to break with him about Beatrice.
'Tis even so. Hero and Margaret have by this played their parts with Beatrice, and then the two bears will not bite one another when they meet.
Enter Don John.
Lord and brother, God save you.
Then, brother.
If your leisure served, I would speak with you.
Private?
If it please you. Yet Count Claudio may hear, for what I would speak of concerns him.
What's the matter?
Is your lordship to be married tomorrow?
Oh, he does.
I know not that, when he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
I think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter, and aim better at me by that I will now manifest. For my brother, I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart hath helped to effect your ensuing marriage. Surely suit ill spent and labor ill bestowed.
Why? What's the matter?
I came hither to tell you, and, circumstances shortened, for she has been too long a talking of, disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she,
Even
Leonardo's
she.
hero. Oh, even she, Leonardo's
My
hero.
line, sorry. Your hero, every man's hero. Sorry, that's my line.
Okay.
Disloyal?
Word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse. Think you of a worse title, and I will fit her to it. Wonder not till further warrant. Go but with me tonight. You shall see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding day. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her. But it would better fit your honor to change your mind.
May this be so?
Will not think it.
If you dare not trust that you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough. And when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight, why I should not marry her tomorrow in the congregation, where I should wed, there I will shame her.
And as I wooed for thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her.
I will disparage her no farther till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly but till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
O day untowardly turned.
Oh, mischief strangely thwarting!
Plague right well prevented, so will you say when you have seen the sequel.
They all exit. Scene 3. A street. Enter Dogberry and Verges with the watch.
Are you be good men and true?
He, or else it were pity, but they should suffer salvation, body and soul.
Nay, that were a punishment too good for them, if they should have any allegiance in them being chosen for the prince's watch.
Well, give them their charge, neighbour Dogberry.
First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable?
Hugh Otakake, sir, or George Seacole, for they can write and read.
Come hither, neighbour Seacole. God hath blessed you with a good name. To be well-favoured man is the gift of fortune, but to write and read only comes by nature.
Both which, Master Constable?
You have, I knew it would be your answer. Well, for your favour, sir, why give God thanks and make no boast of it, and for your writing and reading, let that appear when there is no need of such vanity. You are thought here to be the most senseless and fit man for the constable watch. Therefore bear you the lantern. This is your charge, and you shall comprehend all vagrom men. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
How if they will not stand?
Why then take no note of him, but let him go, and presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of a knave.
If he will not stand when he is bidden, he is none of the prince's subjects.
True, and they are to meddle with none of the princes, but the prince's subjects, but shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and to talk is the most tolerable and not to be endured.
We will rather sleep than talk. We know what belongs to a watch.
Why, you speak like an ancient and most quiet watchman, for I cannot see how sleeping should offend. Only have a care that your bills be not stolen. Well, you are to call at all the alehouses and bid those that are drunk get them to bed.
How if they will not?
Why then let them alone till they are sober. If they make you not, then the better answer, You may say they are not the men you took him for.
Well, sir.
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him, by virtue of your office, to be no true man, and for such kind of men, the less you meddle or make with them, why the more is for your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Truly by your office you may, but I think that touch pitch will be defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to let him show himself what he is and steal out of your company.
You have always been called a merciful man, partner.
Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will, much more a man who hath any honesty with him.
If you hear a child cry in the night, you must call to the nurse and bid her still it.
How, if the nurse be asleep and will not hear us?
Why then depart in peace, and let the child wake her with crying. For the ewe that will not hear her lamb when it bayes will never answer a calf when she bleats.
Is verily true.
This is the end of the charge. You, constable, are to present the prince's own person. If you meet the prince in the night, you may stay with him.
Nay, by Our Lady, that I think I cannot.
5 shillings to 1 aunt. With any man that knows the statutes, he may stay him. Marry not without the prince be willing, for indeed the watch ought to offend no man, and it is an offence to stay a man against his will.
By Our Lady, I think it be so.
Well, masters, good night. And there be any matter of weight chances, call at me, keep your fellows' counsels on and your own, and good night. Come, neighbour.
Well, masters, we hear our charge. Let's go sit here upon the church bench until 2, and then all to bed.
One word more, honest neighbours. I pray you watch about Signor Leonato's door. For the wedding being there tomorrow, there is a great coil tonight. Adieu. Be vigilant. I beseech you.
Dogberry and Verges exit. Enter Beratio and Conrad.
What, Conrad?
Peace, stand not.
Conrad, I say.
Here, man, I'm at the elbow.
Miss, my elbow itch. I thought there would be a scab follow.
I will owe thee an answer for that. And now, forward with thy tale.
Stand thee close then, under this penthouse. For it drizzles rain, then I will, like a true drunkard, utter all to thee.
Some treason, masters, yet stand close.
Therefore, now I have earned of Don John 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible that any villainy should be so dear?
I should rather ask if it were possible any villainy should be so rich. For when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will.
I wonder at it.
That shows our unconfirmed. Oh no, it's a fashion of a doublet or a hat or a cloak is nothing to a man.
Yes, it is apparel.
I mean the fashion.
Yes, the fashion is the fashion.
I may as well say the fool is the fool. But seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is?
I know not. I know that the deformed and has been a vile thief this 7 year, and goes up and down like a gentleman. I remember his name.
Didst thou not hear somebody?
Huh? 'Twas the vein on the house.
Seest thou not, I say, what a deformed thief this fashion is? How giddily it turns about all the hot bloods between 14 and 35, sometimes fashioning them like Pharaoh's soldiers in a reeky painting, sometimes like God Bell's priests in the old church window, sometimes like shaven Hercules in a smirched worm-eaten tapestry, where his codpiece seems as massy as his club.
All this I see, and I see that the fashion wears out more apparel than man. But art thou not thou thyself giddy with the fashion too, that thou hast shifted out of thy tale me of the fashion?
Not so, neither. But no, I have tonight wooed Margaret, a lady hero's gentlewoman by the name of Hero. She leans me out at her mistress's chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. I tell his tale vilely. I should first tell thee how the prince, Claudio, and my master, planted and placed and possessed by my master Don John, saw afar off in the orchard this amiable encounter.
And thought they Margaret was Hero.
2 of them did, a prince and Claudio. But devil my master knew she was Margaret, and partly by his oath which first possessed them, partly by the dark night which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy which did confirm any slander that Don John had made. Away went Claudio, enraged, swore he would meet her, as he was appointed, next morning at the temple, and there, before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw all night, and send her home again without a husband.
We charge you in the prince's name, stand.
Call up the right master constable. We have here recovered the most dangerous piece of lechery that ever was known in the Commonwealth.
And one deformed is one of them. I know him. He wears a lock.
Masters, masters.
You'll be made bring deformed forth, I warrant you.
Masters!
Never speak. We charge you. Let us obey you to go with us.
We are like to prove a goodly commodity, being taken up of these men's bills.
A commodity in question, I warrant you. Come, we'll obey you.
They all exit. Scene 4, Hero's apartment. Enter Hero, Margaret, and Ursula.
Good Ursula, wake my cousin Beatrice and desire her to rise.
I will, lady.
And bid her come hither.
Well.
Ursula exits.
Troth, I think your other rabato was better.
No, pray thee, good Meg, I'll wear this.
By my troth, it's not so good. I warrant your cousin will say so.
My cousin's and thou art another. I'll wear none but this.
I like the new tire within excellency. If the hair were a thought browner and your gown's a most rare fashion of faith. I saw the Duchess of Milan's gown that they praise so.
Oh, that exceeds, they say.
By my troth, this is nothing but a nightgown in respect of yours. Cloth of gold and cuts and laced silver, set with pearls, down sleeves, side sleeves, and skirts, round underworn with a bluish tinsel. But for a fine, quaint, graceful, and excellent fashion, yours is worth 10 on it.
God give me joy to wear it, for my heart is beating heavy.
'Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man.
Fie upon thee, art thou not ashamed?
Of what, lady? Speaking honourably, is not marriage honourable in a beggar? Is it not your lord honourable without marriage? I think you would have me say, saving your reverence, a husband, and bad thinking would not rest true speaking. I'll offend nobody. There is any harm in heavier for a husband? None, I think, and it be the right husband and the right wife. Otherwise, 'tis light and not heavy. Ask my lady Beatrice, else here she comes.
Beatrice enters.
Good morrow, coz.
Good morrow, sweet hero.
Why, how now? Do you speak in sick tune?
I am out of all other tune, methinks.
Claps into the light of love that goes without a burden. Do you sing it, and I'll dance it.
Ye light a love with your heels. Then if your husband have stables enough, you'll see he shall lack no barns.
Oh, illegitimate construction. I scorn that with my heels.
'Tis almost 5 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you're ready. By my troth, I am exceeding ill. Hey ho!
For a hawk, a horse, Or a husband.
For the letter that begins them all, H.
Well, and you not be turned dark, there's no more sailing by the star.
What means the fool, Cho?
Nothing I, but God send every one their heart's desire.
These gloves the Count sent me, they are an excellent perfume.
I am stuffed, cousin, I can't not smell.
A maid and stuffed, there's goodly catching of cold.
Oh, God help me! God help me, how long have you professed apprehension?
Even since you left it, doth not my wit become me rarely?
It is not seeing enough. You shall wear it in your cap. By my troth, I am sick.
Get you some of this distilled Cardus Benedictus, and lay it to your heart. It is the only thing for a qualm.
There thou prickest her with a thistle.
Benedictus? Why Benedictus? You have some moral in this Benedictus.
Moral? No, by my troth, I have no moral meaning. I meant plain holy thistle. You may think perchance that I think you are in love. Nay, by Our Lady, I am not such a fool to think that I list, nor I list not to think that what I can, nor, indeed, I cannot think. If I would think my heart out of thinking that you are in love, or that you would be in love, that you can be in love. Yet Benedict was such another, and now he is become a man. He swore he would never marry, and yet now, despite his heart, he eats his meat without grudging. And how you may be converted, I know not, but methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
What paces is that thy tongue keeps?
Not a false scallop.
Ursula re-enters.
Madam, withdraw. The prince, the count, Signor Benedict, Don John, and all the gallants of the town are come to fetch you to church.
help to dress me, good coz. Good Meg, good Ursula.
They all exit. Scene 5, another room in Leonato's house. Enter Leonato with Dogberry and Verges.
What would you with me, honest neighbour?
Marry, sir, I would have some confidence with you that discerns you nearly.
Brief, I pray you, for you see it is a busy time with me.
Marry that it is, sir.
Yes, in truth, it is, sir.
What is it, my good friends?
Goodman Verges, sir, speaks a little of the matter. An old man, sir, and his wits are not so blunt as, God help, I would desire they were, but in faith honest as the skin between his brows.
Yes, I thank God I am as honest as any man living, that is an old man, and no honester than...
Comparisons are odorous. Palabras, neighbour Verges.
Neighbours, you are tedious.
It pleases your worship to say so, but we are the poor duke's officers. But truly for mine own part, if I were as tedious as a king, I could find it in my heart to bestow it all of your worship.
Although tedious on me, huh?
Yea, and 'twere 1,000 pound more than 'tis, for I hear as good exclamation on your worship as of any man in the city, and though I be but a poor man, I am glad to hear it.
And so am I!
I would fain know what you have to say.
Marry, sir, our watch tonight, accepting your worship's presence, hatting on a couple of as arrant knaves as any in Messina.
A good old man, sir, he will be talking, as they say, when the age is in, the wit is out. God help us, it is a world to see. Well said, if faith, neighbour Verges, well, God's a good man, and two men ride of a horse, one must ride behind. An honest man, so a faith, sir, by my troth he is, as ever broke bread. But God is to be worshipped, all men are not alike. Alas, good neighbour.
Indeed, neighbour, he comes too short of you.
Gifts that God gives.
I must leave you.
One word, sir. Our watch, sir, have indeed comprehended two auspicious persons, and we would have them this morning examined before your worship.
Take their examination yourself and bring it to me. I am now in great haste, as it may appear unto you.
I shall be suffigance.
Drink some wine ere you go. Fare you well.
A messenger enters.
My lord, they stay for you to give your daughter to her husband.
I'll wait upon them. I am ready.
Leonardo and the messenger exit.
Go, good partner. Go get you to Francis Seacole. Bid him bring his pen and inkhorn to the gaol. We are now to examination these men.
And we must do it wisely.
We will spare for no wit, I warrant you. Here's that shall drive some of them to a non-com. Only get the learned writer to set down our excommunication and meet me at the gaol.
Aye.
They all exit. And with that, I believe we will take a short intermission.
Yes,
Indeed.
we will. Back in hopefully 10 minutes. I'll just set the intermission scene. There you go. I think I have the wrong actors in there. Yes. Oh no. Everything's alright. Great. Well, see you in 10 minutes.